Hello, everybody. We're just waiting for the two presenters to join. They'll be with us very shortly. In the meantime, you have the Q&A box at the bottom. This seminar will be followed by a live Q&A. So if you can put any questions that you have into the Q&A, we will get to them after the seminar. Is there Dr. Tirupathy? Do you have any questions?
No, I just joined.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
I will go ahead and play the video, and we'll proceed from there. Okay. Thank you very much. So,
good afternoon. This is Dr. Mari Rajan. Today's statistical camp webinar, we are going to introduce you the qualitative data analysis part. So the title of our webinar, it's Introduction to Qualitative Data Analysis, Unveiling the Stories Behind the Numbers. So I'll come back to you the title later. This webinar is going to be handled by myself and Dr. Daniel Polomoka. There are 8 agenda we are going to deal. One is we will give brief introduction about the topic. Then we will try to make sure how you are going to understand the qualitative data. Then we'll take you through why the qualitative data analysis is important. Then we'll introduce you some common concepts were used in qualitative data analysis, then steps, the key steps. There are few other steps are there, but we wanted to make sure some key steps to be incorporated in the qualitative data analysis. Then we'll take you through some common methods and techniques used in qualitative data analysis, and then we'll bring you some challenges and consideration when you are doing a qualitative analysis study. Finally, we will do a question answer session with you all. So this entire session is going to take you 40 to 45 minutes time. Then we will have another 15 minutes time for question answer. As I already told you, myself is Dr. Mari Rajan Tirupati. I did my PhD in sociology, and also my background in social work as well. So I'm coming from basically I'm coming from School of Social Science. I'm an associate professor and also DVC Research and Innovation in UNICAF. I had 15 years of intensive participatory action research background. The whole of my practicing life, it's centered around qualitative, or you can say participatory action research. I also a strong believer and a practitioner of participatory tools. With this background, I have more than 35 plus publications. It includes both academic as well as practicing career. My colleague, Dr. Daniel Polomoka, he did his PhD in education. He is serving as a Dean, School of Education and Humanities and Social Sciences and Law. He had vast experiences in higher education institution in Zambia for more than 18 years. And also is an active researcher with more than 40 plus publications. So the two of us is going to take you through the introductory part of qualitative data analysis. So I'm going to continue up to certain part. Then Dr. Daniel will jump into the remaining part. part of my session, I'm beginning here. Before going to get to know about qualitative data things, we need to understand what is qualitative data. Because usually in academic, we were well versed with the numbers, or I can say when you are doing an research, usually we applied qualitative data analysis. Most of our data collections most of our academic studies are centered around quantitative one. Qualitative data is also more important from I can able to say after 2000. It's getting momentum within academic sector, but when it comes to the practice or practicing side, or you can say action research, qualitative data are a primary source of data. So with this background, I'm trying to make sure everyone who is learning this session, they're supposed to understand the importance of qualitative data. So any non-numerical information is considered as a qualitative data. Or in practical terms, I can say any data collection instruments asking non-numerical numbers are not asking yes or no type of questions, that is considered as a qualitative data. So any kind of data, if you are derived from your respondent without number, even in some part of qualitative tools, you can get some numbers, but most part of qualitative data, it's a non-numerical informations, either in the form of words or the diagrams or the pictures. It may vary, but the nature of data, it's basically non-numerical informations. So when this kind of data mostly obtained from open-ended inquiries, or you can say open-ended questionnaires. You are allowing the participants to express their views within the questionnaire or within the interview schedule. You allow the participants to express their opinion. You are not restricted themselves. The nature of qualitative data, you are not restricting the respondents with the yes or no. So you are allowing them to express their opinions, their experiences, lived experiences in different ways. So mostly this type of data are coming from open-ended inquiries, then interviews, observations, or content analysis, or focus group discussions. You can able to derive the qualitative data because this the type of inquiry or the type of questionnaires, interview schedules you are going to use, it's basically focusing on getting your quality informations or depth informations rather than the measurements or rather than the numbers. So it focuses on deriving information from your respondents. I can say in-depth information from the respondent, not just say yes, no type of things. So it's more going behind yes or no. You are asking more in-depth informations from this kind of data. This data basically it provides, the qualitative data provides some sort of a richness and complexity of the human experiences, because you are collecting data from the human beings. They were given freedom to express themselves, or freedom to share their feelings and experiences and their behaviors and their opinions, and also some sort of social phenomena. So basically it allow the researchers to explore meanings, patterns, and context within the particular study area. So you are giving full freedom to the respondent to express their experiences and their behaviors and their opinions and a particular social phenomena without any restrictions. Even if you have a guide questions in your qualitative data analysis, that guide questions mostly make respondents to feel themselves to express. That sort of guide question only you are going to keep. You are not restricting your respondent. So this, but when you are see when you are doing a quantitative data analysis, it's mostly on numerical and measurable things, but qualitative data, it involves interpretation of narratives, themes, and symbols, or sometimes it's pictures, or uncover deeper understanding about the particular subjects. So whatever stories you are hearing or whatever narratives were given by the respondents, you are going to interpret that experiences of individuals into the narratives. You are going to make some case studies, or you are going to make themes, or you are going to draw some thematic maps using symbols. Through this process, you are uncovering your deeper understanding of the particular study subjects. So here I can able to say the researcher is playing key role in terms of converting the data, the qualitative data, into a meaningful research output. Let me move on to why do we need qualitative data analysis? Is it an important one, or is it necessary? If you are asking me, I can able to say it's very much needed in when it comes to academic inquiry or academic discourse. It is necessary, because most of the times we are restricted ourselves with the numbers. But this qualitative data, it gives you a freedom of getting the expressions from the respondents. You are taking the respondents along with you. They are not just respondents, they are also going to be a master to teach you. So that's how the qualitative data is, it's making matters are more important when it comes to when you are comparing with the quantitative one. So it will give the nature of qualitative analysis. It's very much important, either in academic research or in action research. It is very much important, because the qualitative data, it give you a in-depth information, or it will create a depth understanding about particular phenomena or particular human experience, behavior, or social phenomena, because it gives a in-depth understanding, or I can able to say it will give you behind the surface level. So it will go behind when you look at the sea, especially in Arctic or the southern part of the world, you will see the ice cubes within the sea, but you don't know what is there inside the sea. But this qualitative data analysis will show you behind the surface level of your observations. You are seeing something from your eyes, but when you are doing proper qualitative data analysis, it will give you what you are not seen. Even you are seeing something, but you can get more informations than the observations. So it will give you more in-depth informations. It will give you behind surface level observation for you. Then it also gives a rich description about the particular phenomena. So you can able to capture the in-depth informations or supplement informations from quantitative from qualitative data, because most of the times the in-depth informations were overlooked in quantitative study, but qualitative studies trying to give rich description about the phenomena, rich description about the human experiences, the one you always missed in quantitative data analysis. And also it also gives a contextual insights. So whatever your respondents are speaking, their experiences, you can able to relate with the particular context. If I am sharing my knowledge related to farming, the same experiences you can able to relate with some other farmers with their context. So the qualitative data analysis always trying to give a contextual meaning for the data. So the contextual insights you will derive from qualitative data, not only contextual meaning, it also give contextual importance. It include environmental context, culture, social dynamics that influences the study subject. You can able to get various dimensions through qualitative data analysis. Then it will also explore the meaning and perspectives, because most of the qualitative data are derived from certain events, actions, and experiences. These events, actions, and individual experiences most of the time offering a more comprehensive view of the studied phenomena. The phenomena is common to everyone, but you can, if you are interacting with someone else who are directly affected with a particular incident, they can able to narrate their experiences. That narration give you more comprehensive view of your the phenomena you are studying. Then you can, when you are doing qualitative data analysis, you can able to make changes in your research design at any time, because it gives a researcher to adjust their approach at any time. Because, for example, I can begin with the descriptive method. At some points, I may think that instead of going with the description, I may go with some sort of impact kind of thing. I can able to change it, because that it's not a rigid method. It will give you more flexible to adapt according to the context. Then when you are doing theory building or theory building and development for generation of generating hypothesis, theories, this kind of things, it is the better methodology. For qualitative data are better source of information to provide a foundational knowledge for your further studies and inquiries. So mostly the theory building and hypothesis development, if you are using qualitative data analysis, you can get a foundational knowledge for your future inquiries. Don't forget, the qualitative data analysis make your respondent become an empowered person, because he is also contributing your research journey from data collection to information dissemination. So you are collecting data from your respondent. You are also not just collecting information, you are empowering your respondents by the way you are asking questions. It makes your respondent become an empowered person. He is also joining with you during data collections and also even in data analysis. If you have any questions, you can able to refer the same respondents to get whether it is my interpretation is right or wrong. I can able to rehearse with my respondents. So basically, the qualitative data analysis makes the participants become empowered respondents. So because you are doing qualitative research mainly to raise the voices of marginalized community, or you are trying to empower the respondents through your research. So their perspective is very much important. You are working towards to highlight their perspectives. Then it also makes the respondents become informed decision makers. Even when you are arriving certain findings, these findings were again cross-checked with your respondent, because they are the primary audience to triangulate your the analysis. Then you can it's not working standalone. Sometimes it works standalone, but you can able to, most of the times you can able to combine with your quantitative data analysis as well. When you are using mixed method, you can able to combine both quantitative and qualitative data. So it's the qualitative data analysis will supplement or it will strengthen your quantitative data as well to get a holistic viewpoint on your research questions. Then the qualitative data analysis, it's a real world applicability. So whatever you are found out from your research, you can it's in relation with the real world scenarios. So this practice, it's more relevant. It have more relevance to make qualitative findings valuable for the informations and practice, policies and interventions. So this is appropriate one to make changes in your interventions. There are a few concepts are very much important in qualitative data analysis, because when the things which I explained earlier, it's a basics of qualitative data analysis. Now I'm trying to give a picture. As a learner, you should understand some key concepts related to qualitative data analysis. So the first one, data saturations. When it comes to quantitative, you have sampling procedure. You know how much samples you are going to do it. But when it comes to qualitative data, So you need to apply data saturation concept. What do you mean by data saturations? Data saturations basically where the points in qualitative research where collecting additional data no longer produce new insights or new informations, where you are feeling, because I myself as a data collector, when most of the context in data, qualitative data based studies, the researcher himself is a facilitator. So when he or she feels I'm not getting any new informations from this data collection process, that is the point we used to say it's a data saturation points. So if you are not getting any new information from your exercises or from your data collection instruments, then you can able to identify no longer you are not going to get new information. This is the point I want to stop my data collections. That is called the data saturation point. It indicates saturation of themes, patterns, or categories, or further data collection may not contribute significantly to the study richness. So as a researcher, I'm doing exercise today, I need to go through my notes. I'm doing it tomorrow, go through my notes. When I feel I'm getting same information from different exercises, if you feel like that, that is the point where data saturation applies. Then you can stop your data collection, then you can go for your data analysis. So if you feel as a researcher, if you feel no longer I'm not going to get any new significant information from my data collections, that is called data saturation, then you are supposed to begin your data analysis by setting your code, themes, pattern, and categories. Then another important concept, inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning is an approach to logical thinking in which general principles are derived from specific observations or incidences, which involves moving from specific data to broader generalization or theories. So you can able to connect some logical thinking. The certain incidents, people are narrating certain incidents, then you can able to identify these incidents were happen because of this causes. So this is happen because of these reasons. So if you are able to logically conclude certain things through your inductive reasonings, through interactions, this incidents happen because these needs were not met. That is why people are suffering due to these issues. So you can, if you found a logical reasons, then each of our interviews or each of your data collection method instruments, you need to find a logical thinking. So why it happened, when it happened, how it happened, this kind of questions, if you get answer through your logical thinking from your qualitative analysis, qualitative data collection process, if you get answer, that is the point, you are going in a right directions. So you need to understand what is inductive reasonings. So this inductive reasonings, you can able to generalize your findings with the other context. So if you get enough information to generalize your research output into your specific data is okay to generalize in a broader context, then your inductive reasonings are okay. It is good. It is appropriate. You can able to take it in that way. Then the third key concept, your qualitative data, it's supposed to be a thick descriptions. The concept of thick descriptions, it's introduced by anthropologist Clifford Geertz. According to him, the detailed and contextually rich portrayal of social phenomena is necessary in qualitative data analysis. So if you are introducing a problem to the audience, that time that introductions or that description supposed to be a rich one. It will give a wider context to your reader. So through your descriptions, through your thick descriptions, you are getting your reader into your report, into your information. So the readers if they read your qualitative report, they should feel themselves what is happening in the field. So you are trying to give an imaginations what was happened during the data collection. If you are giving that kind of a thick description about your phenomena, then you have reached your milestone in qualitative research. It's not just a single word. You are trying to make sure your reader should get full understanding about particular phenomena. So through this qualitative research, that the thick descriptions involves providing a comprehensive, in detailed account of informations through of observed behaviors or culture or social settings. You are open up to your readers. Then the fourth important factor in the qualitative data analysis is reflexivity. Being a researcher, you are going to gain knowledge on particular phenomena, or you are going to develop your own awareness and engagement from your background with the particular phenomena. So people are explaining their issues. People are explaining their issues. For example, if I'm a farmer, I'm explaining about the hardship of the farming. The same explanations, being a researcher, if I have my own experience, if I am relating with that one, I can able to reply during the discussions, yes, me, I found the same kind of experience in my field or in my village or in one of my earlier study. If you reflect like that, then you are in a right directions in your qualitative data analysis. Any data you collected which supposed to create some sort of a reflexivity within the researcher himself or herself, that process, it makes our more influential process in terms of qualitative research process. It involves acknowledging and critically reflecting on how the researcher's perspective, experiences, and values may impact to the study design, data collection, and interpretations. So it should make a researcher to generate his own understanding towards the phenomena. So there are four key concepts underlined. Our key concepts were centered around qualitative data analysis. Data saturations, then inductive reasoning, then thick descriptions, then reflexivity. So you should know when you're supposed to break your data collections, then how you are going to generate your logical answers, then how you are going to describe your phenomena which is understandable to your reader, then how you are relating yourselves with the particular phenomena explained by your respondents. So these four concepts are very much important into qualitative data analysis. Here I am stopping. I am stopping my presentations. I'll come back to you for question answer session. I'm inviting Dr. Daniel to continue this session. Dr. Daniel.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan.
Thank you.
You can put down the slides. Thank you. I'm very hopeful you've enjoyed the first part of our presentation, giving us the background to qualitative data analysis.
Dr. Daniel, yes? Make it your full screen, your video as well.
Okay. I'm hopeful you have enjoyed the first part of our session with Dr. Rajan, giving us a brief background to the importance of qualitative data analysis. I will continue the presentation with the discussion on the sources of qualitative data. Having established what kind of data we generate in qualitative research, we must be aware now that in qualitative research, we can collect our data to be analyzed later on through interview scripts. What are interview scripts? These are interview guides that we may have formulated in our first stage of our research, and in undertaking the research, we have already proofread the text, we have piloted the questions, tested them, and we've collected the data. So from the interview schedules, yes, we have the interview scripts that we can analyze. The second source of qualitative data are the surveys. In quantitative research, you have surveys that are closed-ended. They do not give you an option to give your opinion, your view, your perception, and so forth. In qualitative research, we often insist on open-ended questions, questions that give a respondent an opportunity to say something. The third form of source of qualitative data, the texts and the documents. This could be narratives, their stories, there could be textbooks, there could be newspaper journal articles. Audio and video recordings are sources of data that we can analyze, or we do analyze in qualitative research. Observational notes. So you are a researcher who undertook your data collection through the different forms of observation, because observations is in different types and in different forms. So those notes, yes, can be subjected to data analysis. And you have the contact center transcripts. What are these contact center transcripts? They are colleagues that run service businesses. Is it a lodge? Is it a shop with shopkeepers? And you run a survey where you're asking clients to rate the service of your eatery, your shop, and the kind of goods that they've got. Are they of quality and so forth? So you can run semantic analysis, you can run thematic analysis of the contact center transcripts. Then the last one, but not the least, of course, the list is endless. You have the oral traditions, the stories. Those are sources of data that we analyze in qualitative research. Okay. As we move on, you will realize that we have common methods. So after we've collected the data that we have collected, you will realize that after we've collected the data from all these sources, we will need to analyze the data. So these are the various methods of data analysis in qualitative research. 8 of them. Let's look at one, content analysis. What is content analysis? And what is the content we're talking about? So you could be undertaking a research, and this research predominantly hinges on you looking at what somebody has written, textbook, is it a religious book? And you are analyzing the various aspects that are raised in the book. A very good example is someone who wrote a play, and in the play, there are different aspects dealing with culture, with politics, with what that they have written. So somebody was given a task to analyze the content. Were they analyzing the content for language? Were they analyzing the content for the lessons driven from what has been written? Are they analyzing the content in terms of style of what they've written, the argumentation? So content analysis involves, one, looking at and identifying the patterns that are emerging from the text and grouping that content into words, into concepts, into themes. Okay, so you notice that our use of wordings seems to overlap. I was talking about content analysis. We move to thematic analysis, which is used as well to deduce the meaning behind the words people use. Very similar, but with thematic analysis, they are themes. And we are saying it's the meaning of the words that people use. A very good example is Paulo Freire, a theorist, who came up with a theory of the generative themes. He gave plain paper to girls in a village, 10, 15 of them or 14 of them, whatever number, and you only instruct those girls to draw what oppresses them most in that village. As the children draw and as they hand over the papers, you begin to realize that they are patterns in whatever they have drawn. 2 or 3 may have drawn a girl lying down and a man with a big beard pressing them. 2 or 3 others may draw a picture of a woman dressed in traditional Igaria, beating them, whipping them. Others may draw pictures of a man slapping and others draw pictures of them weeding in a farm field. So you begin to group the drawings and the papers in those categories, and you begin to identify emerging patterns. Those are the themes. Paulo Freire referred to those as generative themes, themes that you are generating as you engage with respondents or participants, as it were. The third one is narrative analysis. From the word narrative, to narrate is to tell a story. So narrative analysis is a form of analysis that you undertake based on the stories that you could have generated in data collection. The fourth one, grounded theory, is an interesting one. Grounded theory analysis. Grounded theory is deep-rooted in qualitative research, and it is a theory that one emanates you arrive with this theory from your engagement with literature and participants. As your data emerges, you coin a theory. So you will notice that key to grounded theory analysis is the formulation of a single theory from a single data case. That is about the grounded theory. So you don't begin with any theoretical framework. You find that the theory is generated from the data. Discourse analysis is often used by linguists, though any other qualitative researcher could use discourse analysis because it focuses on analyzing the way people express themselves in different social contexts. The way people express themselves in different social contexts, right? You could be analyzing the discourse markers, okay? You could be analyzing the aspect of language, whether it's code switching and so forth. Ethnography is an anthropological study, still in qualitative research. You will notice that if in ethnography, you are looking at culture and how culture relates. You may be going to the archives to check on the data. You will be looking at how cultures relate with one another. You'll be looking at artifacts, and these are what you look at either in a time series, in context, in use, and you analyze them as such. The interpretive phenomenological analysis is very interesting because phenomenology is the study of one's lived experiences. So if you are a medical personnel, a nurse, And a nurse as you are, you realize you are always beaten by patients. As a researcher myself, I would come and approach you to give me rich detail about you as a person and why you are always beaten by patients. So that lived experience that you'd share constitutes phenomenological data. So analyzing the lived experiences of a person is what phenomenological analysis is interested with. You would be interested to learn how Professor X became a Christian after 50 or 60 years, and he is born again Christian. He rises to be a deacon. He's so much into Christianity and his new faith that he no longer even writes articles, even does what. So you would be interested. Tell me, Professor, how did you get converted to Christianity? So that lived experience, okay, is phenomenological. The last one is the diary accounts. In the diary accounts, you will not realize these are accounts that are personal. In our teaching fraternity, we engage with learners, and many a times learners keep diaries, especially those in boarding school. So from day one, when they admitted to a boarding school, grade 8 to grade 12, third term, they will have this rich inventory of whatever they were doing. It's easy to look at the patterns of what they were going through. It's easy to tell various aspects of their lives at the boarding school, their interaction with friends, their interaction with teachers, and so forth and so on. It would give you very good account of their academic life and social life, amongst others, religious lives, and so forth. So these are the 8 methods and techniques that can be used in quantitative data analysis. Now, we have the sources of data. We have the types of data analysis. How do we begin to analyze this data? These are the steps that we can follow in analyzing the data. Step number 1 is data preparation and organization. What do we do in that stage? What happens in that stage? Number 1, you will notice that as you prepare the data, you have got your interview script, you have got your survey data, you begin to make sense of that data, you begin to ask yourself, which instrument am I going to use? We will look at that in our next slide, whether you are going to be looking at the features and looking at it to be in tandem with the objectives that you got. Okay, you're beginning to clean the data and organizing it in a way that you should now begin to transcribe it. So after the data preparation, the data organization, you've made sense of the data. Did you have interview scripts that are incomplete? They are complete. Are they damaged? Are they okay? Did we get the actual data as they were? And do we need to still recollect this data here and there? You move to the coding, the transcribing and coding. Remember in the example I gave of Paulo Freire, who gave plain paper to 15, 16, or 17 girls in a village to draw what oppresses them most in the village, right? Immediately those plain paper were got, okay? You were making sense of the plain paper drawings. This one has drawn a man pressing on them. That's like sexual harassment. This one has drawn 2, 3, 4, 5 of them weeding in the farmland. That's like child labor. This other one has drawn a picture of them being slapped. That's like sexual harassment and so forth. So you are beginning to make sense of the data. You begin the process of what? Transcribing and coding. If there were audio, you transcribe from the listening aspect to the written part. That's transcribing. Okay, if it's already in form of interview guide and the manuscript, transcripts, you begin your coding like terms together. So this is similar to this theme and that theme, and okay, these are the themes that you begin coding, and the coding process is a huge discussion that we will get into in another discussion on the forum. The third one, developing themes, very close to what I have shared so far. You will notice as you use Paulo Freire's theory of generative themes, you are already saying, out of the 14 or 16 drawings I've got, 3 seem to be talking about child labor. 2 seem to be talking about sexual harassment. 3 seem to be talking about gender-based violence, slapping, and so forth. So you are beginning to develop the themes from the data that you have and you have made sense of and before you. So as you move on to iterative analysis, you are getting deeper and deeper into relating this data to and linking it with the literature that you have been relating with. The fifth one, saturation and data interpretation, in Dr. Rajan's presentation, it was explained that you reach data saturation if, as you collect data, you do not seem to collect any other new data but the same data, and you have reached a point where you'd say, I think this is the number of respondents that we targeted to reach, and these are the responses that we seem to be getting, seemingly that seem to be falling in the same categories. In many cases, of those 8 types of data analysis we looked at, you have a situation where you do not have a preset of participants. In certain cases, you will continue collecting data and reaching out to respondents because you have not set a limit of respondents. That happens if, for example, you have used the snowballing method of selecting participants. One participant leads you to the other, and that's what you have no preset participants. So these are the steps in qualitative data analysis. We move on and look at the common methods and techniques that we use in qualitative research. We have many, I shortlisted here 15, and if you look at all of them, they have a bearing on how you have collected that data in a qualitative manner, how you have prepared that data in a qualitative manner, and you are now ready to input this data into a software that will help you analyze it. So these are mere common methods and techniques that are used to analyze qualitative data. The data that we have coded, we have cleaned, and we have processed. So it is just a part of data processing. It is very important to know these ways of analyzing data, predominantly because of our different strengths in qualitative research. And some of the strengths that we hold could be strengths that would help you use either one technique or method or the other. Okay, we have a student pursuing the doctoral studies who is interested in using the technique number 10, Takwete. What does it do? How do they use it? So you will analyze the different technique depending on how you yourself are familiar with it and what you think you are able to do with the data that you generate from it. So Takwete is an open source tool for qualitative research. So you can use this Takwete software to analyze your qualitative data. After all, it's open. There are many that you can use. I've just chosen one. You also have the NVivo number 7, which is a software that allows users to organize and store qualitative data ready to analyze. So there are many. All you need to do is just choose which one you're familiar with, which one you're friendly with. Okay, you also have the first one I have listed, Atlas. It allows you to analyze large bodies of data, including text-based, audio, visual, or graphical data. So if you have followed, the emphasis in sharing these methods and techniques of data analysis is to make you aware of what you can use at your disposal. How you can use it, we will have another session on this platform. We will get into each one of these in detail so that you see the steps that you can follow in inputting the data and in how you get your data analyzed using any one of them. Thank you. What are the features of most of those methods and techniques? Number one, you have data visualization. It is important to look at what data visualization is vis-a-vis the type of data you get in qualitative research, because you'll be helped to identify the trends and the patterns from the information that you get. If it's from a survey, yes. You may have tools in this feature that may include graphs, the charts, the maps. You also have a feature that is interesting, coding. So the data coding feature, which can help you in finding the concepts, linkages between the separate data elements. It may allow you to have to prepare data into categories, into themes that a computer can process. This can organize and convert data into a responsive format for computer software. The third one, text analysis. There's the ability to organize readable words and structured data into structured text data formats. Fourthly, you have content analysis to enable you extract data and analyze multimedia content. And lastly, you have the reporting and the statistics. So these are features of some of the techniques and methods that we have shared, you can take advantage of. However, you will notice that in looking at quantitative data, you have challenges, and these challenges are worth considering. Why must you consider the challenges? So that you are aware of how to overcome the challenges, so that you are aware of how to proceed with your data analysis in a qualitative manner. Number one challenge is subjectivity and bias. It's because you have an interview one-on-one with a person. A person may be a politically influential person. A person may be a chief. A person may be a cultural adherent. A person may be related to you. So aspects of biasness may creep in. So you need to read more on how to avoid biasness in qualitative research. That's the importance of talking about biasness in quantitative data analysis. The second one is time and resource constraints. If you are undertaking a narrative analysis, you have a huge sample size. The narratives will be huge as well. So time and resources may not favor you. So it's important to tell and ask yourself, what kind of time do I have? How much do I have? What resources do I have? Okay, so can I then undertake a qualitative research or a quantitative research? Will I be able to do a qualitative data analysis with this timing I have and with these resources I have? Okay. There are also issues that I raised in number 3, trustworthiness and rigor. Trustworthiness is an all-embracing terminology that talks about validity and the reliability of the instruments and the data that you get. Is it going to reflect the same if it was done using the same instruments or others at another time, right? Are these findings credible? Credibility of the findings and the analyzed results are multifaceted. Number 1, you may look at the aspect of triangulation that you have used in your analysis. You may also be interested to look at the rigor of research. Research rigor is an extremely important aspect, and in our data analysis, it's important to recall it. To what extent am I remaining to the ethos of research and still adhering to the standards and ensuring that these findings will be credible? Do they meet the standards of research? Are they floating the ethics of research? So research rigor and trustworthiness are extremely important to consider in data analysis. The fourth one, balancing structure and flexibility. All right. So you will notice that as we proceed discussing the findings and how to analyze the findings, you will have situations where the entire findings that you have been analyzing has to be put in context in relation to the objectives of the study. And as you proceed, you ask yourself how much flexibility you've injected in the findings that you are analyzing. Thematic data analysis can have such a flaw. So all we are saying is these are challenges, and we need to take care of the challenges to ensure we do not flout the ethics and research rigor. Generalization of findings is extremely difficult in qualitative research. There are extremely rare cases where you can generalize the findings of a qualitative research to a general population, predominantly because you may get rich data from a very small sample, but it's not representative of the general populace of that we're targeting. The last one is data analysis, the management, just how to manage the data analysis process in qualitative research can be daunting, especially if you're dealing with thematic data analysis. So caution is to be extremely careful, be aware of the challenges, know how to overcome the challenges. In instances where you're not too sure, consult literature, read broadly so that you avoid the pitfalls. We also have benefits in undertaking qualitative data analysis. Number one, it's easy to tailor this analysis to the specific needs of the participants. In the example that we have been moving along with of Paulo Freire and the generative themes, it's easy to look at the plight of the girls in a village at a given point in time and analyze it, the findings we have got from the generative themes. So customized for specific needs and not generic. The second one, there is flexibility that can be enshrined in it. Thematic data analysis is flexible. Just look at how we develop the generative themes using Paulo Freire's method, plain paper given to girls in a village, and they draw what oppresses them. And we generate the themes from there. Even colleagues that teach literacy, for example, can easily get a word from amongst the words that have emerged from the generative themes, write them on a blackboard or whiteboard, because it's a familiar word from the girls: sexual harassment, child abuse, child labor. It's easy to begin teaching your literacy lesson from there. Get one word and ask them to make other words from that word, and you break down the syllables. You can generate other words from the one word emerging from the themes in the findings. So it's flexible. The third one is intense understanding or deeper meaning. Okay, so it's possible with qualitative research, you can get deeper meaning. Remember, phenomenology, lived experiences of a person. So we can get deeper insights about a person's pursuits through qualitative data analysis. The fourth one, it's possible we can uncover the unexpected. In one village where we used Paulo Freire's generative theme approach, we actually established that there is a cultural practice where girls, before being married off, have a night with their fathers, biological father, a trend that we see today in Zambia in the media. There are reports of a biological father molesting their daughter, incest. So incest practices that are on the rise could be due to cultural practices. So you can uncover the unexpected using qualitative data research and data analysis. And the last one is we can obtain data that speaks to participant situations, which is 100% true. As a qualitative researcher myself, and having gone through qualitative data analysis, I find a fulfillment and a fulfilling in myself that, yes, we can have a cadre of other colleagues who can fall back on qualitative research. In conclusion, I would say understanding qualitative data is essential for unraveling the intricate layers of human experiences, behaviors, and social phenomena. Qualitative data analysis emerges as a critical process, allowing researchers to explore, interpret, and derive meaningful insights from non-numerical information. On that note, I'm saying thank you for listening, and I'm very hopeful you followed very closely, and we now transition into the question and answer discussion session. Thank you.
Perfect. So thank you very much for that very good presentation, Doctors Tirupati and Bolamoka. We now have a Q&A. If anybody would like to add their questions to the Q&A, please do so. It's just at the bottom of your screen. Let me answer the questions that I can answer myself to start with, just to get those out of the way, and then I'll I'll leave you to it, doctors, if you want, or I can read the questions as you prefer. Hello, can I access these slides? Provided it's okay with the two presenters, then yes, you can email us and we can send you the slides. The presenters do have to be okay with it, though. Is there the possibility that I could have these notes in a French version? Unfortunately not. No, there isn't. You can use the free translation devices and services that are available over the internet, including, I mean, there's options where you can translate videos and so forth. But we don't ourselves have a version in French. If you're watching the live version, there are translated subtitles. Okay. There's several people who are thanking you for a very good presentation. So thank you very much, Dr. Bolamoka and Dr. Tirupati. And we have a raised hand. Unfortunately, we can't promote you to a panelist, so there's no use in raising your hand. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to say, please put it in the Q&A. This brings us to our first question, Dr. Tirupati, which is, thank you for the presentation on qualitative common methods and techniques. Is there a possibility to get this presentation on another link for one to go over it again? Okay, yes, it will be put up on the VLE. So you can access it very shortly. It won't take long. I should have it up within this week. So yes, is the answer to that one. Apologies. With the concept of data saturation, what could be a justifiable sample size in a qualitative study?
I'd like to answer this one.
Yes.
Okay. The data saturation, you can say you're going to judge your saturation point by the way of getting informations. The same informations, for example, you're getting. I'm saying this is this information. If it is repeated, maybe 3 times, 4 times, if it is repeated from your data set, then you are going to stop that the new data collections. I'm not going to say out of this much percentage you are going to stop, but you need to decide because mostly the qualitative data collections, as a researcher himself involved in the data collections process, then you'd know what kind of answers are coming for particular questions. Then you decide, now we reach the data collection saturation points, you're going to decide. So same, for example, same focus group discussion you are doing. So you are putting a question, then you are getting answers from different sections. If the answers are coming in same way, or same type of answers are coming, there is no new informations coming out, then you can able to stop your data collections. For example, you planned 10 semi-structured interviews. So you are on the way, you are going 6. Then you analyze the 6 data, because every day you are doing you are going through your answer sheets. Then you will find the same answers are started coming. Then you can stop. You're free to stop even after 5 or 6. It is you to decide the saturation point. So that's the tips I'm giving actually. It's not about based on the samples. It is you to decide the saturation level.
Okay. Does it mean one cannot use data collection method and logically conclude a study at PhD level?
Can you repeat that one?
Yes, I'm not entirely sure myself. Does it mean one cannot use the data collection method and logically conclude a study at PhD level? I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to ask.
Does it mean one cannot use one data collection method, logically conclude?
Maybe he's saying perhaps you need to use multiple or more than one data collection method.
Yeah, okay. It is not advisable. Actually, it's not advisable to depend one particular data collection method. I'm not saying qualitative and quantitative. I'm saying the tools. For example, if you are collecting a particular data using a focus group, using semi-structured interview, or using a mapping kind of things, information supposed to come from different source. Then only you can able to validate your data. So the data supposed to come from different source. It will increase the accuracy of your information, and also you can able to do the validations or validity. It will give you the more validity than one particular tool. So my advice for PhD, you need to set it up not just with one tool. You need to set it up with multiple tools. Though information is same, but you can able to cross check from one particular tool to another tool. So that's how you can able to increase the validity of your data.
Excellent. Can we say that thematic analysis is a subset of content analysis?
Dr. Daniel? Dr. Daniel?
Dr. Bolamoka?
Marira Jan has highlighted, you will notice that when you want to choose a data collection tool, you heavily fall on the research design that you have. So, for example, if one has a mixed methods approach, you are blending two things, qualitative and quantitative. It therefore becomes very difficult to ask a question, must I use only one tool to collect data? No. Why? Because you have blending qualitative and quantitative. So what qualitative tool are you going to use to collect data in that mixed methods? What quantitative tool will you use to collect?
I
I
think there's an internet issue for Dr. Bolamoka. Shall we proceed to the next question? And we can always return to that. Could you go over the stages of data analysis and qualitative research, Dr. Tirupathy? If you could just repeat the stages.
One of the slide Dr. Bolamoka mentioning that you need to make coding first, then coding supposed to be grouped into themes. So these two are simple steps. You are going to find out when you are reading your narrative reports. You are going to choose the quotes. Then you are making the quotes. Then the quotes supposed to be grouped into themes. Then you finalize the themes. Based on the themes, you are going to align with your objective. Then you are writing your reports. These are all the simple steps. But these steps may slightly vary from type of qualitative study you are doing. It will vary. But these are all basic steps. I think you can able to go back again to Polomoka's presentation. You'll find each and every steps. But these steps are varying from the type of qualitative study you are going to involve.
Excellent. Dr. Bolomoka, if you're back, would you like to complete the previous question? Can we say that thematic analysis is a subset of content analysis? No.
Sorry.
Sorry, Dr. Bolomoka. Just because the last question was cut short, there was
What's the question?
Problem.
The question
is thematic analysis a subset of content analysis? Yes.
The line is breaking.
Yes. Is thematic analysis a subset of content analysis?
Okay. It's not true. To a great extent. What is content analysis? If I have a policy document and I would want to analyze some policy streams, issues within the document, will I use content analysis? Will I use thematic analysis? I'll probably use content analysis. Linguists use content analysis to tease out the different grammatical issues that writers may have had in their write-up. However, you can derive themes from the content that one has analyzed. So arising from the content analysis, one can have themes. Themes are merely the burning issues that emanate from an undertaking. So novelists, for example, write about different issues in communities, in society, issues that range from ethnicity, HIV/AIDS, language, barriers, and all. So those become themes, but emanating from one's analysis of the content of a written document.
Excellent. So, can populations that will not be affected by policy implications being investigated be included as key informants?
It depends upon the study what kind of study you are doing. For example, if you are studying on the impact of particular policy, then you're supposed to go with the targeted populations. But if you are go for something like a survey on particular phenomena, you can go with anyone for your key informant interview. But if you go with a specific task or specific issue, then the key informant supposed to be the people who are either positively or negatively affected by the phenomena is necessary. They are suitable for key informant because they are the one making their pronouncement because of that policy or because of that particular phenomena. So they are supposed to be the key informant.
So I am looking at either focusing on qualitative methods only or quantitative methods only. The question, I suppose, is that the right thing to do?
Both are research methods. Both are research method. There is no right or wrong. Both have their own qualities and quantities in terms. If your title and your resources available, you can go with any kind of method. For example, I'm working on an organization. I have a good number of data collectors. you are free to go with because you have resources, so you can go with a big number of quantitative questionnaires. You can go with it. But if you have a small number, but you have a well experienced facilitators, you can go with the qualitative one. It depends upon the type of study you are involved or the resources you have. You can set it up either qualitative or quantitative or mixed method. You can able to combine both. You can go with the mixed method. These are all methods. The methods going to be chosen by the researcher based on the available resources, based on the nature of study you are involved, or based on the type of study you are going to do. It will decide your methodology. That's what I can able to comment it here. For example, if you are going to study some discriminatory issue. For example, if you are going to study person affected with the HIV/AIDS, there is an anonymity is needed. So if you are going with a qualitative one, if it will show who is affected with a particular disease, it will make some negative impact on your study. So you can able to decide the type of study you are going to do. Then you can design your methodology. That's what I am suggesting. Most probably, I from my experience, I always go with the mixed method because I'm coming from qualitative background, and also I learned quantitative techniques during my PhD phase. So most of the time, because if you are blending both qualitative and quantitative, you can best utilize both methodology in a concrete manner. So that's why I can able to vouch you. It depends upon your study. You can combine both methodology. It's well and good. But don't take it this as a final answer.
Okay. Just another question from one of the students regarding the slides for the presentation. Would you be comfortable with us sharing the slides with the students, Dr. Tirupati? Is that
For
okay?
me, it's fine. It's fine. Maybe you can
Okay.
check with Dr. Daniel as well.
Dr. Bolamoka, is it okay with you?
Yes, it's okay.
Excellent.
It's okay.
If you could send me the slides, then I will send them to one of the students who's requested that we send them to her. If that's okay. So if you could send me the slides by email, I will send them out myself. So yes, it can be done is the short answer. Could you briefly explain mixed methods research and the tools used?
Okay. So mixed method. You are going with a questionnaire, and also you are going with a qualitative tools like focus group, semi-structured interview, social mapping, whatever may be. So the type of information you are going to get it from the quantitative data collection tool is going to be cross-checked with the qualitative tools. The information is same, but you are going to employ both qualitative and quantitative tools. The data will come from both sides, but you can able to cross-verify the data. Then when you are writing a report, you are going to say in number as well as giving your explanations using the qualitative data you collected. So you are blending both quantitative and qualitative in your data collection as well as in your analysis itself. For example, even in a same questionnaire, you are allowing the respondent to answer yes or no type of question, and also you are asking the description of the particular. For example, are you agree with this particular phenomena? Yes, I agree. Why you are agreeing? Then you are allowing the respondent to describe his and her reasons. So the same questionnaire have quantitative component as well as qualitative component. In technical terms, you are having closed-ended questionnaire and also open-ended questionnaire in the same survey format. That's you can take it as a mixed method in a basic level. But in a project-based research context, you have set of quantitative tools using closed and open-ended questionnaire, and also you have the qualitative data collection tools in key informant interview, focus group discussion, semi-structured interview, some mapping tools, something like that. You can blend both. Mixed method itself, it needs to have a separate seminar to understand each and every steps.
Now we have a lot of people actually asking for the slides for this one, and they're putting their emails in the Q&A. Certainly, I can send them to you that way. An easier way would be to email us requesting the slides, and then we can reply. Because there is such a high demand for the slides in terms of this particular UU stats, I'm going to see if we can find some way to put them on the Student Help Center for you all as well. So that should be happening too, I would think. Okay. So the best way is to, we're not going to send them out to everybody who registered. No, if you do want the slides, email us and we will send them to you, no problem. Please, how can we identify the qualitative research from exploring a problem and developing a detailed understanding of a central phenomenon?
For that particular question, I hope maybe you can search. There is a qualitative data collection tool called problem analysis under a group of tools, participatory role appraisal tools. You will find problem analysis tool. That problem analysis tool, it will help you to identify the core problem from the group of problems. So you try to Google it to find out what is problem analysis tool. Then you will get more information how to identify a particular problem, whether it is a basic a main problem or not. You can get to know what is problem analysis tool. Then you will find more information on that.
Okay, we have people really want the slides from this one for some reason. It hasn't happened before, but that's good. That's good. It's more rigorous. Which email must we send the request to? The doctoral studies email. So the same email you use to communicate with doctoral studies, send it there. If you don't know the doctoral studies email, it is doctoral.studies-aa@unicaf.org, but it's the same email that you use to communicate with us about everything. So that's the email to use. If you just put a message in the Q&A here saying, please send me the slides, I can't do it because I don't have your email. I am taking the emails from the Q&A, which we wouldn't normally do, but why not? And I'll send you the slides. But please, it's better if you send us an email. Yes.
I think after this webinar, the presentations and the video recording is going to be available in the student help center.
Yes, the recording is normally available. The slides, we haven't put them up for UU Stats because of this permission thing, but I think it's for this one, it is definitely worth doing because everybody is asking for them. And, you know, if we're doing it for one, we might go ahead and do it for all of them in the end. but at the moment it's just the videos, unfortunately. So we have a rather long question here, Dr. Tirupathy. From Indonesia, it's 3 questions, so we'll get to them one by one. How did you ensure the credibility and trustworthiness of your qualitative findings?
If it is in a quantitative one, you have validity analysis, but in qualitative, how you are reaching data saturation point, and also how many tools you are using to collect a particular data from your particular tool. So for example, if you are collecting a demographic data using social analysis tool, a social mapping tool, that social mapping tool information supposed to be verified using some other tool. That's how you are going to increase the validity of your qualitative informations. So your data supposed to be come from different tools. That's one of the key validating points. So if you are collecting a demographic information from social mapping, then it needs to be correlated with some other tool. The same answer is supposed to get it. This way you can able to validate this your data. And also you need to make sure once you done your data collection everything, you need to have a dissemination point where you need to organize your the respondent to share your initial findings. That's another way of doing validation to your data. Even within the same exercise, for example, if you are conducting a focus group discussion, you're supposed to have an introductory note why you are doing this particular focus group discussion. So you are briefing the purpose of your study. Then end of the focus group, you are going to list out these are all the items we discussed, we agreed. You are giving some sort of a conclusion in the end. This is how you are going to make sure the data is in a quality one. I hope I answered the first part of the question.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
The second one.
The second one, can you elaborate on the data analysis process, including how you developed and refined the coding scheme and themes?
There are two plans, because it's a big task actually, how to do data analysis using qualitative analysis method. We are planning to do a Atlas based session, because this is a introductory session for qualitative data collections. But our second seminar, it's supposed to either going with manual data analysis or using Atlas for doing data analysis. That's our plan. We are in discussion with the doctoral studies to organize next level of workshop. But in nutshell, you need to read your notes, the data collection notes. You need to read your data collection notes. I'm telling the practical point of view. Then you need to pick your codings. You need to pick your codes. Then you are, for example, you are writing your notes. Then end of the day, you are going to read again your notes. Then you find out this information is you're trying to group a particular information from each of the paragraphs. Then you are going to see the pattern of the informations. Then you are pick the pattern. Then you are converting that pattern into code. Then this is how you are going to do the coding for each of the exercise you are doing under qualitative study. Then once you done picked all the codes, then these codes supposed to be grouped into themes. Then once you see information related to demography, information related to perception, information related to impact, so you are going to pick each items, then you are group them into these codes as a theme. So once you finalize the theme, then you pull out the information from particular code, you are making separate text under different themes. So each of these themes supposed to answer directly to your research questions. So in academic terms, I can able to say your chapter 4 subtitles supposed to come from each of the themes. So this, what I explained here, we can able to make a separate seminar to do how to do data analysis using some softwares or without software we can able to do, because we need to have practical examples, the data we need to show, then only it will be easy for you to understand.
And there is also
Let me pick the third question. Let me pick the third question. The third question relates to how let me get there. How our own where is that question?
can you provide specific examples of how the interactions with participants and your own perspectives shaped the data collection and analysis processes?
Okay, so this is a loaded question. It has three parts. The first and overall of it is that you're asking about specific examples. Number two, how the interactions with participants, and you put a conjunction, and your own perspectives. So how does a researcher's own view influence the data collection process? I think that is what is coming out. And then the data analysis later on. If you recall in the presentation, I gave an example of the generative themes that were being derived using Paulo Freire's method of collecting data, where I mentioned of an individual interested in uncovering issues that are affecting youth or a certain population in an area. You take it, you don't know anything, and you're trying to establish what really affects the people. Using Paulo Freire's method, you give them plain paper to draw whatever oppresses them. So that is a conscientization philosophical underpinning. You want to make them conscious of what oppresses them, but you don't know what oppresses them. So you give them plain paper, they draw what seems to oppress them. Out of a certain number, if they were 20, you notice 15 have drawn almost the same picture of what oppresses them. Now, you are asking, how does your interaction with participants and your own perspective shape the data collection exercise? It shapes it in that you must apply principles of research at every given point. You must avoid biasness. You must collect data based on the ethics and ethos of research. You don't know and you want to find out. So if as a researcher you went with an expert syndrome, I know what oppresses the youth. You wouldn't get what actually oppresses them through what they drew. Okay. The analysis is simple, like Dr. Marirajan had mentioned. Once you begin putting like drawings together, you are already categorizing your data. You begin to give them codes. Those that are talking about gender-based violence, those that are talking about child labor, and so forth. You put them in those categories, and the due process of analysis follows thereafter. I hope I've answered the third question.
I think it's a good answer. Excellent. So that's done. Thank you once again for a very good presentation. In using a grounded theory approach, should questions be used? If so, how many research questions are most appropriate? Does it depend on the type of design?
Okay, so what is grounded theory? You will notice that with grounded theory, like I talked about the generative themes in Paulo Freire's conscientization philosophical underpinning. With grounded theory, you do not begin with any theory because you want to come up with a theory. You want to emerge with a theory at the end of your study. How many questions? There isn't a specific answer to that, because what determines how many questions you ask is the nature of the proposed study and the research design.
Okay, so can I use the stage 4 and 5 template for stage 4 summative assessment 1? Or should I submit individual subtopics? So it's quite a detailed question. Does anybody know the answer to this one?
Maybe Daniel.
If we don't know the answer, we can always tell them to
No,
email.
I don't know the stages.
Nor do I.
I think the student is referring to, there's something they have not told us. Are they pursuing the master's degree? Are they pursuing their doctoral degree? I think that's where
it would be a
stages
doctoral. It would be a doctoral degree.
Okay.
Stage 4 and 5 template for stage 4 summative assessment 1. That question is, I think, too complicated.
Maybe what we could answer is this person is subject specific, because every stage, depending on the module one is taking, has these instructions relating to the template, relating to the summative assessment being talked about, and relating to the individual subtopics. So let's refer this student to the tutor in that module so that they get specific guidance.
That's what would have to be done, I think. And the way to do that is to email the school and ask us so that we can direct your email to the right person in the right department. Excellent. She says, I am on stage 4 of DBA, and Dr. Bolamoka is typing an answer. Excellent. So I'll go ahead and mark that as resolved. How many acceptable research questions can be asked? And do we have to speak out about or explain the questions in the research question stage?
So this is similar to the previous question. It's a question that is specific to a module and specific to an area of study. Would advise the student to engage the tutor in the module. And if they're already pursuing their doctoral studies, they engage the supervisor or examiner for specialized guidance.
Excellent. We don't have any more questions at the moment. Do we have any more questions from the students? If you have any more questions, please put them in the Q&A. We'll give you another minute or so, and if not, then we'll be closing the webinar because we're through all the questions so far. Thank you very much for an excellent presentation, Dr. Tirupathy and Dr. Bolamoka, and a very good Q&A. We're just waiting to see if anybody else has anything to ask. I don't think so far. Could you send me the slides as well so that I could send them after we close to the students? Would that be possible?
I think the common understanding should be to upload them on a common platform so that everybody else can access. Or else the influx of us asking for slides may be too much.
We should, but we had, this is normally what we do with our webinars, but for the UU stats, we didn't for some reason because there was some issue about the permission of the presenters to share it, but I think that I'm going to push this myself, because after the demand we've had for the slides in this webinar, the students really should have them. Either way, though, I'm going to need the slides. So would you be able to send them over to me, Dr. Tirupathy, when we close?
Sure, we can. Yeah, we can send it to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we don't have any more questions. So thank you very much to all the students. Thank you to both the presenters. And I was going to close. Oh no, one more
Thank
question.
you.
Okay, just an email.
Okay.
Thank
It's not a question.
No, it's not a question. Very good. Okay, goodbye from me.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.